He turned! John Hollins! Oh, what a beautiful goal!
For our main match, we go into the second division, but what an amazing match it turns out to be. Queen's Park Rangers against Birmingham.
Right up there amongst the attackers now, and Bowden too. A nice little ball played for Bowden. Turned back again. Vincent miskicking it. And finally, it's still not away. And it's still not away.
And our studio guest, the man you saw at the top of the programme, Rodney Marsh of Queen's Park Rangers. Beard coming along nicely as well. Let's make our start at Loftus Road yesterday. Queen's Park Rangers against Birmingham. Both in a season of disappointment. For Rangers, so much a question of injuries. And into their team today for his first game is 20-year-old Andy McCulloch from Walton and Hersham, who only signed professional forms on Friday. And Birmingham, well, they made a fine start of the season, but they've slipped badly now. They look to Alan Campbell here to bring more drive in midfield, £80,000 from Charlton. Two other familiar faces, goalkeeper Mike Kelly, so recently with Queen's Park Rangers, and Roger Hind, recently with Crystal Palace.
So Birmingham all in red then, defending the goal to our left, get us away. Two sides with a very disappointing start to the season. Rangers lying 19th and Birmingham 15th, and their records in many respects almost identical. Both have played 11 games in the second division, and both have won only 3. And now a throw for Birmingham City. And Latchford, young Bob Latchford, putting it again to Vincent. And a goal kick. And a good welcome back to Loftus Road for Mike Kelly, who left for St Andrews, Birmingham in the summer, when Phil Parks, the man who's going to take this goal kick, came down to London from Walsall. Morgan getting a touch that before Martin, but couldn't find Marsh. But a throw then to Rangers, who lost 2-1 up at St Andrews against Birmingham on the opening day of the season. Marsh. Hazel with the throw. And Martin again getting in. A quick throw now. Terry Venables with it for Rangers. Rodney Marsh. Vincent. Hockey very aggressive, but Hazel coming away with it, finding Venables in turn to Marsh. Faced by Robinson. Marsh with a shot across the goal. And Kelly really had to get down to that one from Marsh. Taken almost from nothing, Rodney Marsh there. And now Marsh again. Not quite finding Hazel, but certainly finding the voice now of this Loftus Road crowd. Marsh really put the whip into that one. And Kelly, I would think, was very thankful to get his fingertips to it to push it away. But now a free kick, Ian Gillard. McCulloch aiming to get underneath it, but Hind getting there first. And now Hazel for Queen's Park Rangers. Turned in again, flicked on by Morgan. And a goal kick from Ian Morgan, who's had his troubles with injuries this season, just like his brother out of Tottenham. Ball still in play. Ron Hunt. And now Gillard. Marsh was calling for it, and a slip there allows Marsh to go in. A goal by Marsh. What a goal! Mike Kelly absolutely beaten. And Rodney Marsh puts Rangers ahead with 5 minutes gone.
We used to be roommates as well when he was...
Well, Rodney, I'm not sure whether the slip allowed you in. You were always going to be close with that ball anyway, weren't you?
Yeah, it's straight at him, but it's just got too much. It was like a Bobby Charlton shot, that was, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't it? And what about the beard?
I forgot all about that, you know. I didn't remember that at all. Yeah.
Yes. Well, Brian's just caught sight of it too.
Going over Kelly's head. He might be just a little annoyed with himself for not getting a hand to it. But a good start for Rangers. Oh, and very nearly an upset there. A ricochet off a defender, almost deceiving Parks. Well, in fact, it did deceive Phil Parks, this mighty goalkeeper. 40.5 stone of him, 6 foot 2.5, but going wide of the goal. That's Robinson. One for McCulloch to try and get under. Marsh now for Rangers. Played wide for Clement. What a good ball. ricochet there. Marsh going in. Oh, against the bar. The header and a save by Kelly. That was very nearly a goal there. No, in fact, the whistle had gone. Good play by Marsh. And although the point was disallowed there, because it's a free kick, a very good reflex header by young McCulloch. Hazel. Both sides showing a tremendous amount of promise and initiative as they come forward. Hockey to Bobby Thompson. Campbell. Oh, and Thompson beaten by Hazel. Now it's Marsh. Played first time for Ferguson. Harassed by Vincent. Oh, a nice little reverse ball there for Gillard. By Ferguson. Now Hockey. And Beard to Campbell. Latchford to Malcolm Beard. Campbell unfairly hustled by Hazel. Finding Vincent. Hockey way outside him. Here's Hockey. Martin going up on the outside, but Hockey instead trying a shot, but wide with it. Trevor Hockey, formerly, of course, with Nottingham Forest. My goodness, he's growing a beard as well, I think. Maybe not. Trevor Hockey was with Nottingham Forest and Newcastle before he came to Birmingham, then as a winger, and now as a midfield man. Free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. And Ron Hunt with it. McCulloch straining to get underneath that one. A missed kick by Beard, but he couldn't quite get to it in time. And Hockey and a corner. Hockey's rather firm back pass there, wide of Kelly. Well, certainly Mike Kelly's been pretty busy in this opening quarter of an hour or so. Rangers leading by a goal to nil, scored by Rodney Marsh. And now Mike Ferguson with the corner, Clement right up there, as you'll see. Marsh getting ahead to it. Oh, Rodney Marsh! A second goal to Marsh. With 14 minutes gone.
Did you?
Yeah.
Right. Amazing, huh? Right.
Good header, though.
If you'd have said
Right, Bobby.
header, yeah.
Not too many score with his head, Bobby.
No, if you'd have said to me Rodney Marsh had scored a goal with his head from a corner kick, I would have said, no, you made a mistake. But it's there for all to see, you know. What can you say?
The defender tried to punch me in the head as well as I heard that. You see.
And what about Loftus-Road?
Well, it's 14 minutes gone, and I've scored two and hit the post, hit the bar. So,
Yeah, but what
long
about
way to go.
Loftus-Road to play?
It was absolutely fantastic atmosphere.
Nice little theatre.
Yeah, brilliant place to play.
You
Nice
played there
little
many
stage.
times. Yeah.
It's a nice little stage. There's a few where the action, the crowd are close to the action, where it just generates great atmosphere. QPR has it, Leicester City has it, Liverpool has it.
Yeah.
And it was just a great place to play. Nice stage.
Do you think it still exists, even though there's seats all the way around now, Rodney?
That's an interesting question. I personally feel that the game has changed so much. And part of the change is the fact you don't have terraces anymore. I used to like the old terraces. You know, the fans all standing, cheering and waving and all that. I used to like that. So I think the atmosphere's changed a little bit because of the all-seat stadiums.
Yeah.
You can't go back that way, though, can you?
No, you can't go backwards, that's
I have to
right.
forget about that.
And besides, I mean, there are so many benefits from having seats, I suppose. But, I mean, Liverpool, the supporters will always remember the Kop was such a faction, weren't they? For the same reason.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll still be called the Kop.
Well, there's a goal coming up, so keep our eyes rooted to the...
Pumped in there by Thompson for Latchford. Surprising how much time Latchford was given. Summerhill! Oh, magnificent save! And a goal by Latchford. After one superb save by Parks, who must be very, very annoyed. Slack work certainly in the defence there.
Well, 16 minutes gone and it could be 3-2.
Well, I tell you one thing, I mean, you just had a goal scored against you, but it's a great game to look at, Rodney, isn't it?
For the neutrals, it's wonderful, isn't it? Super.
But that's a typical Latchford goal, isn't it?
Yeah, he was a predator, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
Always in the right place at the right time in that box. Formidable forward was Bob Latchford.
Give a little bit of heart to
But most people, you know, like your Jimmy Greaves, your Dennis Laws, you know, most of the goals were scored within 10 yards of the goals. You know, they just picked up little bits and pieces.
That's right.
And Bob Blatchford was the same.
Do you find
he was a very brave player, actually, Dickie, Bob Blatchford.
Yes,
very,
absolutely.
He used to stick his head in where it mattered, yeah.
Did you find that there were guys that you were a marked man anyway? I mean, they've tried to calm you down at all?
Every single game.
Yeah.
Every game that I played.
But were there players particularly that you remember for that for the treatment you got?
I've got scars to prove it. Yeah. People like Tommy Smith and Norman Hunter and Dave Mackay. I mean, Dave Mackay was a genuinely hard man. A really, really hard man. Not only a hard footballer, a hard man. And many a time I came off the park with blood streaming down the backs of my ankles. Dave Mackay.
He's a tough lad.
Yeah.
Oh, good play there by Ferguson. Flick forward now for Morgan. He's got Marsh over on the right. Here's Marsh. And a tremendous break by Venables now. Oh, and a good... Is it a goal? It is a goal by Venables, who ran like a hare. What a tremendous piece of football by Venables, running onto that pass by Marsh.
Did Terry, in your memory, ever run like a hare?
I've got to say that was a wonderful goal. And you might fault Mike Kelly, the goalkeeper, for not keeping it out, but it was a wonderful goal. But I can promise you this, Terry Venables was never guilty of running like a hare, ever.
He made Paddy Crowder look fast, did he?
And now Vincent. So Birmingham, who a moment before, when Summerhill looked as though he might come close, were getting right back into this game, are now 3-1 down. Deflection there, and Parks quick to spot that bit of danger. Clement. Well, young McCulloch hasn't had a chance to show very much, but he must be well delighted. His first game in league football, and his side are 3-1 up after 17 minutes. Really, no praise is too great for the way that Venables ran for that ball, and the power of his shot as well. Watson then with the kick, or rather Hunt with the kick. Mike Kirkhoff, the referee from Preston. Well, what a sad homecoming for Mike Kelly. So recently a Rangers player of great distinction, and now 3 past him so quickly. Hunt up well. Ferguson. And it comes through to Ferguson again when the ball's running for you. Ferguson. Good, neat control and self-control. Gillard laying it off there for Hazel. And now Hazel again. Gillard. And a throw to Birmingham. Robinson. Gillard getting up well, into touch. Throw then to Birmingham City. And Alan Campbell with it. Bobby Thompson. Oh, allowed by Ferguson to go through to Summerhill. Hockey looking for somebody free and finds Vincent. Beard's gone outside him. Hockey. Still Hockey. Beard right out there still. Malcolm Beard. A little chip through there for Summerhill, taken well on the body twice. Across their goal, Latchford! Oh, a goal, and a good one. Beautifully made, though, by Summerhill for Latchford. His second of the game.
He's a predator, as you said.
He is, but I mean, look, he's not even in the picture here. But he's a natural-born predator in the box, and he knows where he has to be. And while everybody else is looking at the ball, he's just drifted a little bit away to the far post, and the ball's come in there where he thought that it might, and he's popped it in the back of the net. That's an instinct that really good strikers have.
That goal was identical to the goal that Sunderland scored last week against Middlesbrough. where the boy went down the left, cut it to the far post, and Craig Russell came in.
Yes.
And side footed it.
Yeah.
Identical goal that was.
Yeah.
Latchford again getting up well, and Summerhill also right in there. Summerhill and Latchford still causing all sorts of little pinpricks there to this Queen's Park Rangers defence. Down goes Marsh on the track there.
That wasn't wonderful. One of many, I suppose.
What happened to that tackle from behind? Oh, he did get booked there,
He just didn't want you on the pitch, I think, so he knocked you off it.
On the running track.
Well, you talked about Dave
All good fun,
Mackay.
all good fun.
All good fun, yeah. I mean,
It's a man's game.
and a fight at the end of it all, I suppose.
Yeah. Don't like all that red stuff on my shirt, though, all that running track.
Back of his shirt absolutely covered in shale from the running track. And a free kick to Queen's Park Rangers. Venables with it. And a header by Morgan, but he ducked his head a little bit on it and didn't keep it down. And Robinson. Latchford. Up well again. Campbell. Some nice little touches in midfield by Campbell. Remember, of course, he hasn't had really a chance to get to know his teammates, but what we do know is that at half-time, Rangers leading by 3 goals to 2. 2 by Rodney Marsh, and 1 by Venables as well, and 2 here by young Bob Latchford for Birmingham City. So away we go the second half then, Rangers kicking off. 3-2 ahead. Marsh and Venables. Rangers, for all their flair and firepower in front, at times in the first half to look dangerously vulnerable in defence, and that's why they've conceded those 2 goals. But here's Marsh going again, and Kelly for Birmingham. And now Latchford again. Summerhill. Across well, and Latchford, oh, within an ace of getting his hat-trick and the equaliser for Birmingham City. He really is an opportunist, this fellow, in the 6-yard area. Marsh. And Robinson to take it away for Birmingham City. Gillard for Rangers. Good skill. And a lot of calm about him. Oh, but down he goes. And Hockey takes it up and finds Campbell. Campbell to Vincent. No, that's Morgan. Venables. Ferguson, first time there for Ian Morgan. And a throw to Queen's Park Rangers. Venables shielding the ball well. Ferguson to pump it across again. And McCulloch goes in! So the new boy gets a goal, Andy McCulloch. And a very good header indeed.
Tell us about the new boy, Andy McCulloch, then, Rodney.
I remember him fondly, actually, Dickie. A lovely young man. I think he came from Wharton and Hertsham as a non-league player. He was obviously a very, very young kid. He had probably about 18, 19. And a smashing lad, very, very brave. Bobby was talking about me not being very good in the air. He was great in the air, this kid.
Yeah. It was a good header, that, because there's 2 defenders with him.
Yeah.
I wish I could have done that. Headed the ball like that.
You got a few headers.
Does it take courage to hit the ball?
Couple of glancing headers.
Yeah.
Tell us about the courage it takes to head a ball and the way that
You mean generally?
Yeah.
I always thought that great headers of the ball, and I use Joe Royle as an example. When he used to jump for the ball, he used to clatter into players as well. He was very, very strong, got across defenders, got his arms up.
Yeah.
He was intimidating. I've always felt that good headers of the ball, probably like Tommy Lawton. I didn't see Tommy Lawton.
Yeah.
Similar thing. But
Nat Lofthouse.
Yeah.
Fantastic in the air. Always kept their eyes open, you know. I mean, when you're coaching kids, you tell them, keep your eyes open, you know. Keep your mouth shut so that you don't bite your tongue. Use your forehead. And people like Nat Lofthouse, he used to do it in his sleep, you know. It was so instinctive.
Yeah.
And head balls in. And also, a lot of them have a good spring. You know, they have a good spring in them, so that they're able just to climb above somebody else.
And QPR had another great header too in Les Ferdinand.
Yes, yeah.
Just a little bit. Yeah. And he's the same. When he comes in on the far post, you see how powerful he is. And
being pushed out a little bit, but McCulloch trying to flick it back in. Summerhill harried and hustled all the way by Clement, and hustled into an error, and Ferguson is right there in the middle of it. Will it come through to Marsh? Oh, look at that for skill by Marsh! Oh, and what a goal! Rodney Marsh's hat-trick! Oh,
what a way to get the hat-trick, Bobby.
I was thinking, well, how is he going to score? Must have to go out of the box and come back in again. All those players around, I couldn't see how he could score. Look at that. Oh, this is great skill.
Who's those 4 players around here?
Look at 1, 2, bang. Right? Yeah. Not at all. There's
what a great commentator.
There's a compliment.
Yes, I tell you,
there's a compliment for you.
Eusebio, it's not bad.
That was a sensational.
Did you get the match ball there, Rodney?
Yeah, I think I think Andy McCulloch had it.
Oh,
I think it was his first goal that he scored.
Yes.
I think we gave it to him.
22 minutes of the second half gone. 2 goals in a matter of a couple of minutes. 5-2 to Rangers. And remember, they scored 5 in their last home game as well. Martin putting it across, but challenged fiercely all the way by Clement. Too fiercely, it seems, because it's a free kick. And Birmingham have now brought their substitute on, Jeff Bowden, on the field. And I think it's Dave Robinson, the number 4, who's gone off. Standing over this free kick, the number 12, darting up there through that wall. Vincent curling it. And now Venables away. Down he goes by Martin. Well, there's a man who must be well delighted now to see his side really going into goal-scoring form. Les Allen, manager of Rangers. Now Hazel. Here's Marsh again. Ferguson again is offside at the moment. Now he's all right. There's a flick on, just didn't quite clear Thompson. Martin for Birmingham. To Bowden, the substitute, on for Robinson. Campbell, good ball there to find Hockey. Summerhill, Hockey wanting it back again, but Summerhill turning it in again towards Latchford. And Hazel not getting it very far. Campbell. Martin right up there amongst the attackers now, and Bowden too. A nice little ball played for Bowden. Turned back again. Vincent miskicking it. And finally it's still not away. And it's still not away. Turned back again by Summerhill. Campbell. Well, my goodness, the whistle has gone. How on earth that didn't go into the Rangers net on at least 3 different occasions, goodness alone knows. Turning it there for Ferguson. And Hind showing more determination and coming away with it. But there's the final whistle at the end of a really exhilarating game, where Rodney Marsh has made his mark with 3 magnificent goals.
Yes, so Rodney...
Well, some really exhilarating forward play there by the Rangers, but I noticed in the News of the World this morning that Rangers manager Les Allen, as realistic as ever, is very worried about his defence, and he told reporter Dennis Signey that he hoped his defenders would learn something from television. Well, even so, the happier side must be the Rangers attack, particularly the form, as I say, of Rodney Marsh. And before we meet Rodney, our studio guest today, here's Jimmy Hill.
Well, last week we saw a superb hat-trick from Malcolm MacDonald at Luton, and this week we've got one that a lot of people argue is that much better. MacDonald's hat-trick was all shooting power. This one was a volley, it was a header, and it was a little bit of football magic that you'd go all over the world, I think, to see. The first one, the volley, the dipping volley, came from a good bit of Rangers football. There's a little slip which helped them out, but Rodney takes it down, the ball's in the air, and look at that volley. Look at the power over the goalkeeper's head. dead centre, just under the crossbar. That's the power of shooting, and you will have noticed there that that was probably 7 yards outside the penalty area. Now we look at this one from a corner. This was a perfectly placed header. Look as he times his run in. There he goes, and how he guides that perfectly. Now I want you to look where it hits in the goal. You couldn't be more accurate than that. On the run, in the air, with a power header from a corner. And finally, the goal, which again was something that perhaps could be said to be indescribable. There's all the mix-up on the floor. And I want you to count how many defenders are there. Rodney Marsh is pushed away, and then he does his little bit of magic. There's the little drag back. There are 4 around him there. He throws 2 of them to the left. In fact, they collide. And then when it looks as if he can't get the power on the turn into that shot, he does. Gets it through the defender's legs. And there is that third magnificent goal. Rodney Marsh at his superb best. Well, that was a hat-trick that wouldn't have disgraced Pele, Rodney. Is it the best hat-trick you've ever scored?
I don't think so, Jim. I scored a hat-trick last year against Blackpool, which I felt was the best.
What gave you more satisfaction?
Well, it came at a time last year when I was struggling for goals, and it was more than welcome when it came.
Was there a better goal in it than the third goal yesterday?
Well, yeah, I thought so. It was a banana shot from the edge of the area, which I felt was better, yeah.
A banana shot?
Yeah.
Does it give you more satisfaction to score that kind of extraordinary goal than perhaps a straightforward one, a good passing movement and a really explosive straight shot?
Well, it does really, because they come so few and far between.
Yeah.
You know.
The goal yesterday, the third goal, that other extraordinary goal, was that your second best goal of your career, would you say?
I would say so, yeah. It was struck better than what I thought it was on the day. You know, looking at it again, it's,
always looks better the day after.
Yeah.
How many hat-tricks have you scored?
About 7.
7?
Yeah.
How many do you think you're going to score before you're finished?
I think that's probably the last one, actually.
Until that. Rodney, Rangers, away from you. Last year, I did say in an interview with Terry Venables on this programme that you were too easily beaten away from home, and I didn't think you'd get promotion last year. That seems to apply even more this season.
Yeah. The thing is there, Jim, you see, when we're at home, we really go outside, you know, we play with 2 wingers wide, and we really go at the people. But when we go away from home, we tend to be more defensive-minded, you know, which I don't think is a good thing for us. And we suffer because of this, you know.
Rodney, as a player, I think you have it in you to be perhaps you're as good a player as any of the top 6 in the world as a forward, and yet somehow you don't quite seem to be achieving that. You seem to be the greatest entertainer maybe we have in the country, but you don't seem to be achieving that. Do you have that ambition?
Well, certainly, Jim. Yeah, but I think the thing is, I think it's a question of exposure. In the second division, you don't seem to get the same exposure. You know, and when I've played in the first division, it's been with 2 struggling sides fighting for relegation, you see.
You got some exposure yesterday in the second division. Was that why a hat-trick in front of 4 million instead of 13,000? Did that make a difference to your play?
Not really, no. I don't think you really realise that people are watching you, you know. You just go and play the game the only way you know how to play it.
What about your all-round game? I mean, to be very critical of you, I would say that once in a while, particularly away, you know, you don't maybe run as much as you should, you don't chase as much as you should, and you don't tackle as much as you should. If I was being very critical, would you accept those criticisms?
Not as such, no. I think, as I said earlier, we tend to play defensively away from home. You see, we leave perhaps 1 or even, you know, at the most 2 forwards up. You know, I think that although it gives you more room to manoeuvre, I think we struggle when we play defensively.
Is there any hope for you to get with a good side in the first division, be it Queen's Park Rangers? Do you think there is a possibility?
I think there's a chance of Rangers getting the first division quite soon, yeah.
You think the spirit's there within the club to do that?
Most certainly the spirit is, yeah.
Led by Rodney Marsh and many more hat-tricks.
Thanks, you.
Well, Rodney, thank you very much for that hat-trick yesterday. Thank you for all the entertainment at Shepherd's Bush and for the interview today.
Pleasure.
So the amazing skills of Rodney Marsh, 2 beards on 1 programme. We really have got a bonus on the big match today.